Welcome to Math Lesson 7. Hooray! Today we are working on place value again, like we've been the last couple of days. You're going to need to find page 33, 35, and 37 in your book. Like this, like that. Okay, and then we are going to be switching the problem set and the homework today like we do sometimes. So on the homework page, I'm going to cross out the word homework and put PS for problem set. And on the problem set, I'm going to cross it out and put HW for homework because we are going to flip those. I think that this page is easier for you guys to do on your own, and this one's going to require my assistance. So that's why we're going to switch them. Okay, let's get started. Remember to push pause and get your name and the date and your papers all organized before you come back and push play, because I'm going to assume you're ready to begin. All right, this page says, I never do this page the way that it says. It wants the kids to be timed for 2 minutes and see how many number words you can write. I don't like to do that because most of the time you just spell them wrong, and practice makes permanent, which means if you practice spelling them wrong, then that's how you're going to stick it into your brain. So what I like to do is spell them correctly with you, and then we're not really going to use this today. Actually, you know what? I think we are going to use it today because on the problem set, it's asking you to write the numbers in word form. So we are going to need this today. So what I'm going to do is write the number words. I'm going to go kind of quickly because I'm a grown up. So you can push pause when I get to here and then copy down how to write the words. I don't mind if you have a grown-up help you with this because it is a lot of number words to write. But I want you to keep this someplace in your school bin or wherever it is that you are working on your schoolwork, because we're going to be spelling number words a lot and you don't want to spell them wrong. Because like I said, practice makes permanent, which means if you practice it wrong all the time, and that's how your brain's always going to remember it. So you want to practice the correct way when we're doing our problem sets and homework pages. I know a lot of these you already know how to spell. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, oh, and then they're counting by tenths over here. Like, what's happening? Okay, we will do that too. 10, 20, 30. The reason over here that they counted by tens is because once you know how to spell all of these words, you only need the word like 30 to be able to write 30 and then 4, like that. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That one you kind of have to squeeze. Okay, go ahead and push pause and get all of those words written on your paper. Did you do it? Did you pause? Okay, now I'm going to assume you paused and you wrote all of those, and now you're ready to keep going. All right, we are going to also use our hide zero cards today, so hopefully you still have those in a Ziploc like I do, or somewhere safe. We are going to be looking at the bundles of tens, hundreds, ones, and we're going to be writing this number in standard form, expanded form, and word form. So standard form is just the regular old number, so that's our easiest one. So let's look at how many hundreds there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hundreds bundles. Those are the big fat bundles of straws. So go through your hide zero cards and find the 700. I did not take time organizing mine first, so it's going to take me a second. Okay, 700. Then we're going to count our tens bundles. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, which is 40. And how many ones? Just one little tiny one. So I'm going to look, I'm going to find the 1. Okay. So now I'm going to take my pencil, and that's all I'm going to write on the standard form spot. So standard form is just the regular number form. So I'm just going to write 741, and that's it. That's super easy, right? Okay, expanded form. Now I'm going to take the number and I'm going to pull it apart and expand it. Do you remember how to write the expanded form from our last lesson? We write 700 plus 40 plus 1 equals 741. All right, and then all that's left is word form. So last time we did unit form, where we wrote out the word, we put like the number 7, and then we'd write out the word hundreds. And then we wrote out the number of 4, and we wrote tens like this: 7 hundreds, 2, 3, 4 tens, 1, 1, like that. That is unit form, and we are not doing that. So it's similar. See, word form though is how you would say the word for that number. So it's just like we say 741. You're going to write it just like that. And that's where your paper where you wrote out the word numbers comes, or number words, comes in handy. So 741. So word form means, how would you say that word? So you would just say 741. That's exactly how you write it, 741. Okay, let's look at number 2. Same thing. We're going to count the hundreds bundles. So try first, see how many hundreds bundles you count. Okay, I counted 500. So 500 bundles is 500. So go ahead and find your 500 hide 0 card. Right? And then we're going to count the tens bundles. So they're the skinnier straw bundles. So you count first and see what you get. I got 6 tens. And 6 tens, remember my trick? You say 6 and then tens, you put the 0 on the end. So 6 tens, 6, and then tens, we put the 0 on the end. So 60 is 6 tens. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that 60 on there. And then how many ones do we have on this number here? There's no ones. So we don't need to find a card for that, right? We already have a 0 here in the ones place. All right, standard form is just the number form. So we just made standard form right here. That's what we're going to write, which is the regular old number. Expanded form, we're going to expand that number or pull it apart. So for expanded form, we have 500 plus 60 equals 560. Good job. All right, and all that's left is the word form. So how would we say this word? 560. So that's all we're going to write. 560. Okay, and you're not going to spell any of those words wrong because we're going to keep referring back to this page. So on here we have the word 5 and the word 100 and the word 60. Okay, so we're not going to spell this wrong. This page, please put somewhere where you can find it again. You're gonna be writing number words, for the rest of the year. So find a nice spot in your school bin, or you can tape it to the wall where you do school to refer back to. All right, let's pancake flip our problem set over to the back. Well, it's actually the homework, but remember, I'm calling it our problem set. Flip it over. We have a couple more questions. So what is the unit value of the 3 in 432? So they're asking us, what is the value of this 3 right there? Is it in the hundreds place, the tens place, or the ones place? Well, let's build 432 with our hide 0 cards. Find your 400 and your 30 and your 2. 400, 30, Where's my 30? It's 432. Okay, so there's that number, and they're asking us what the value of that 3 is in the number. So we can pull out the 3 and see what is the value of that 3. Is it worth 3? Is it worth 30? Or is it worth 300? It's worth 30. So that's what we're going to put here on that line is 30 because the 3 is in the tens place. So it's worth 3 tenths, which is 30. Okay. Next question. What is the unit value of the 6 in 216? Well, is that 6 in the hundreds, the tens, or the ones place? Where is that 6? Is he in the hundreds, the tens, or the ones place? 216. Okay, here's my hide 0 cards with 216. And that 6 right here in the ones place, he's just worth 6 ones. So that's it. His unit value is just a 6. He's not worth 60 and he's not worth 600 because he's in the ones place. All right, and our last question for our problem set is write 212, 221, and 122 in order from greatest to least. So we need to put greatest first. And is greatest the biggest or the smallest? Biggest. So the biggest one needs to go first. So it's not going to be this one that has a 1 in the hundreds place. It's either going to be one of these two because they have 2 in the hundreds place, which means they're bigger. 200 is bigger than 100. Okay, so let's look at these two numbers. After we look at the hundreds place, we're going to look at the tens place. This has a 1 in the tens place, and this has a 2 in the tens place, which tells us that this number is bigger or greater than this one. The tens place is bigger. So we're going to put 221 on this line. And then we already know that the other one that has 200 is going to be the next greatest, 212. And least will be the smallest number, 122. And that completes our problem set for today that I switched. Okay. Let's go over our homework page before I leave you to work on it alone. It says, match the word or unit form with standard form. Problem A is done for you as an example. So problem A said 234. And they drew the line to the number that matches it, 234. So on this side, they're going to give you number words. And over here are numbers that you need to match it to. It's the same on the back. Now let me show you, there are some that are a little bit tricky. So when you get to something like this, 5 tens, 600s, I make my class every year when we do this together in class, write the number next to it. So 5 tens and 600s, sometimes kids want to look at that and say, oh, 56, I know that one. It's not 56. It's 5 tens, 600s. So the 6 has to go in the hundreds place and the 5 has to go in the tens place. And it's not 65 because then we wouldn't have 600s. So we need to add a 0. There's no ones. So make sure you read them well and figure out what the number is. 700s, 6 tens, 3 ones. I always write that next to it. 700, 6 tens, 3 ones. 204, 402, 3 ones, 700s, 4 tens. So look, they try to confuse you on these. You don't want to just write 374. You want to make sure the 7 goes in the hundreds place, the 4 goes in the tens place, and the 3 goes in the ones place. So it's all about place value. 470, 900s, 3 ones. 3 ones, 7 tens, 600s. So that's another one. Make sure it goes in the right order. You want to put the hundreds first. So 600s, then the tens, and then the ones, and then find the number that matches. 930, 12 tens, 3 ones. Now that one's a little bit tricky. So 12 tens, what did I teach you when you hear the word tens? So 12 and then 12 tens, you would just add a 0. So 12 tens is 120. And then we have 3 ones plus 3 ones. So figure out what that number is. On the back, same thing, match all the ways of expressing each number. So you have these 3 numbers and lots of different ways of showing numbers. So you're going to say 500 plus 9 is 509 and draw the line there. Well, a lot of these other ones make 509 also. So you're going to figure out what each of these is, and they'll each be drawn to one of these 3 numbers. So these 3 numbers will have lots of lines drawn to them, okay? See, 9 plus 500 is also 509. So that one would also have a line going to that one. You have 400s and 34 ones, 800 plus 60 plus 3, 500 plus 9, 863. 50 tens, remember my trick, 50, you write 50, and then when you hear the word tens, you just add a 0, so 50 tens, and then 9 ones. 434, 86 tens, same thing, my trick, 86, and then you hear the word tens, you just add the 0, and then 3 ones. 400 plus 4 plus 30, so you want to say 400 plus 30 plus 4. You can use your hide 0 cards for those if you need to. 800, 6 tens, 3 ones, 509, and 4 ones plus 43 tens. So 43 tens and 4 ones. All right. And that's it for problem sets and homework 7. I hope that you enjoyed math today, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.